This is an open letter to African American churches in Bridgeport. I was compelled to write this letter as I see a photo in the Connecticut Post of Joe Ganim praying over the loss of yet another murder victim in the inner city. I believe that prayer is powerful and it reinforces our connection with Jesus Christ. Prayer alone, however, will not stop the violence in the inner city. For prayer to work, we must act to change the paradigm that is Bridgeport. Without legitimate jobs, young people in the inner city have turned to an illicit job market involving drugs, guns, and violence. We have to wage an economic war for their hearts and minds. We must re-energize our city economically for those young people. We are living in the aftermath of having failed to bring jobs to Bridgeport for the last several decades. We have failed them. Joe Ganim wants more cops. Hence, we have to be prepared to build more jails. I want jobs as a solution. I want incarceration of our young people to stop being the first answer to quelling the violence. Building a viable economy is not difficult, yet it has been nearly impossible for both Finch and Ganim. Their focus was to drive hundreds of millions of our tax dollars to their donor contractor friends. They ignored the main streets where the violence is occurring. Their dreams of grandeur to be the mayors that converted old industrial mills to bright, shiny, sterile landscapes drove them to demolish 60 acres at Steel Point, needlessly displacing residents for nearly 2 decades. Their ineptitude and greed landed us in the economic debacle we find ourselves today. So we see Joe pray. And we see a desperate, grieving community deceived yet again. A wise man once said, if it's beans you want, stop planting corn. Bridgeport will not see a cessation to the violence until we stop planting corn. Now that Mary Jane Foster has been accepted into the machine, I am the only candidate who can root out the evil that has taken up residence in our city, much of it lingering from decades of leaders like Joe Ganim and Bill Finch. The evil is not the youth that we have failed. The evil are those who have sucked the economic life out of our city. However, pastors, with all due respect, you've shut me out. You've kept my message from being heard by your congregants. If my message is flawed, let your congregants decide for themselves. But please, please let me speak to them, because I too am praying. But my prayers are that someday Bridgeport will be governed honestly. And then, and only then, will it provide the jobs that its residents need. That's when the violence will end. Thank you for your time, and God bless you.